So 100% not on the podium without Christian Horner. That's the stat so far.
And then you have the same fucking pit time.
They're
loss
going 80
as
kilometers
any
an hour, and it takes them 20 seconds to get through that.
We're all together. We're all equal.
We're all good. It's all good now. It's all good.
We're all equal.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Idiots of F1. We are a bunch of dum-dums who love to chat all things Formula One without getting too technical, but very opinionated, coming off the back of a huge weekend in Belgium. Welcome, Taylor and Ev. How are you guys?
Sup, buddy?
Sup, buddy?
So if you're just joining us for the first time, myself, Tay and Ev are missing our usual host, Ollie, who's busy working for the Lions Tour. He's actually here in Sydney, but unfortunately couldn't make the time to get to my place and do yet another live, which would have been really fun. So we are here for your informative pleasure to give you the rundown of the past weekend's race in Belgium for the Belgium GP, including the sprint, which we did forget to mention was on last week. And as Taylor has so poignantly pointed out, that it's very hard to find out whether the sprint race is actually on short of them announcing it the week of, or you clicking through to each individual race and it telling you that there is a sprint race this weekend.
I didn't know.
So if anyone out there can give us a better way to find out when the sprint races are, give us an Instagram message or a comment. So, boys, in a nutshell, let's keep it to 50 words or less. Taylor first, Evan second. Tell me how you found the weekend, including sprint and the race.
I love Spa. Okay, I'll try and do the 50. Spa's just such a great track. I love every minute of it. Wasn't too many surprises. And to be honest, the only surprise was I thought it was going to be wet all weekend, and it was only wet on the Sunday. So I guess, the first couple of days with the sprint and stuff was actually pretty decent. It wasn't too... Actually, to be fair, the sprint was boring as fuck. But overall, it was a good weekend just for F1. Yep. Spa's always a good track to go to and watch. So, I enjoy it from that perspective. Yeah.
Great.
That's
Ev?
50.
Yeah, I think that's the common takeaway. The sprint, why would you have a sprint on, what is it? Is it
right?
the longest track of the year?
One of the longest tracks of the year. It's
either the longest or second
proved
longest.
how pointless it was.
Yeah, that's isn't that not what you should be doing?
What do you think the actual criteria is for them deciding on the sprint? The only reason I could think that they chose this is because perhaps there's more overtaking points because it's a longer track, but there's only really 2 points.
To be honest, I think they're rotating the tracks.
Yeah.
Because every season it seems to be a different collective of sprint tracks.
That's so stupid.
So far, since it started, that is. It feels like that's what it is. Next season, it seems like it's Singapore. I feel like I might have heard that it might be Azerbaijan being one of them as well.
I like a street circuit to be a sprint. It seems like a good idea because there's more action.
Where are the overtaking points in either of those tracks?
Well, there aren't any.
Exactly. So what's the point of having the sprint? It's just going to be 15 formation laps,
Yeah, but remember the cars are smaller next season, so it might be more opportunities this time.
Right.
Hence why the street circuits.
Well, Ev, did you have any particular highlights or lowlights that we haven't mentioned yet?
No.
Just one.
I don't know. It was frustrating from a fan's point of view. How some of the cars were set up with low downforce and others had high. And then, I don't know, you're just screwed, I guess, because you can't change a rear wing very easily. It takes a long time.
Alpine was a perfect example of that because one driver had low and the other had high.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're 50-50%.
And they both lost in the fucking
yeah.
It was an interesting weekend. After we discovered that it was sprint weekend, I managed to not see one element of race weekend. I had to watch replays of everything, including the race, because I'd passed out by about 8 p.m. on Sunday. I was so exhausted. I was doing film clips and gigs. And it was just, I had to get up early on Monday, so I was trying to avoid the results. Then I forgot that the results might come up on Instagram, and I was posting stuff on Instagram from the shoot, and it came up with the podium. I was like, great. But Taylor had said he'd had a marvelous time watching the race, so I did watch the whole thing.
I wouldn't.
You said it was you said it was a fun race. But yes, the words were written. I really enjoyed the race, so I did end up watching the full thing. I didn't watch highlights or anything, and I had to make sure I did, because by this stage we knew Ollie wasn't going to be here today, so I needed to be well versed. Now, coming into a quick review of the sprint. Taylor is going to give us a quick rundown of some of the highlights. I'll give you the results very quickly. Max Verstappen, number 1. Oscar and Lando rounding off the podium. Then 4th, Charles Leclerc for Ferrari. Then we had Ocon at 5th. Sainz with a pretty good effort in 6th. Ollie Behrman right up there at number 7 with Isaac Hadjar. Good to see the rookies doing a bit better. Then Bortoleto at 9 and Liam Lawson in 10. So that top 10 is quite a fascinating
For the sprint, it doesn't matter though. It's only to 8.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so even to 8 though, you've still got the 2 rookies in there, and Ocon up quite high, which is quite good. Obviously, Hamilton didn't quite make that one. Neither did Russell. Tsunoda obviously not. Lance Stroll outdrove Alonso in the sprint. Albon way back in 16th. Kimi Antonelli 17. He had a horrible weekend. And then we had Hulkenberg at 18, Colapinto at 19, and the other Alpine, Pierre Gasly, didn't even finish. So I hand it over to Taylor. Give us some of your review highlights, please, of the sprint and how it all went down.
All right, so Max basically took Oscar within. He started in 2nd. Oscar was pole. And within half a lap, he'd already had Oscar. He was flying, and then Oscar just didn't even come close to him.
In saying that, now I heard, including from the rest, maybe from Norris or someone talking about Norris, Ev, classically, Spa, you'd almost rather be in 2nd than pole, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's so there's the first corner is a hairpin, and the cars are going so slowly anyway, getting off the line, that it's usually I was going to say generally, and then usually, and I ended up with neither.
Generally, I was like juicily,
and so yeah, it's a really good track to kind of hedge your bets and not attack on that front corner unless and just wait to see somebody else make a mistake first. And even if the guy in front doesn't make a mistake, like Lando didn't make a mistake, you can come up behind and then just get a slipstream going up a Rouge and Radion and just you go around. So yeah, it is a bit I don't know, deceptive in that sense that if you get pole, it's a bit like sometimes there are tracks where pole is on the dirty side of the track.
Yeah. And
so you're like, well, you're losing all of your advantage being on the dirty side. But yeah, no, that was an exciting first lap.
It was interesting. Oscar could never really get close, right? Yeah.
Yeah, something about his battery or...
So that's the thing. So during it, like they were comparing because Norris was making gains on him, and it felt like going, "Oh my god, is this going to be another fucking team orders bullshit?" Because it was showing they were comparing the batteries. Where at one point, Oscar had like 30% battery. Right, he'd used so much of it, not only trying to overtake and get Max back when he did get close enough, but then also he was using a lot of it to prevent Lando to overtake him. So when they were comparing the batteries, it was like 30% to Oscar, and then I think Lando was still on like 80 or 90%. It was something crazy with like just that discrepancy between them. But funnily enough, Lando just never got close enough to a point where he could then get that second place. And same with Oscar, he just never quite got to that point where then he could get that position back. He might have had an opportunity, I think, around 7 or 8. But at the end of the day, you've only got 15 laps and no one pitted for this. No one pitted. Like other sprints we've seen, we've sort of seen them do at least one stop, but no one pitted for this.
Yeah,
one.
it's not really meant to be. They're not meant to pit in a sprint race. You can, but yeah, whether or not.
Yeah, well, in this case, like there was no reason to.
Yeah.
This is one for you, Ev, actually, because at the beginning, so Gasly essentially started from the pits to the point where he might not have even been able to start. They were saying like, oh, he's not going to make it. He didn't come out for the formation. He didn't come. He wasn't there on the starting grid and stuff. And they were still trying to fix whatever their issue was with the car, which I can't recall now.
I don't know
they
what
were
it
saying
was,
that it was something to do with a water leak.
Right.
But then hearing Crofty, and I think it was oh my God, who was up there with Crofty? Who's the other bloke?
Was Ted there?
No, it wasn't Ted. He was there, but he wasn't up there with him. Who's the other bloke who does it with Crofty? I'm completely blanking.
Paul Duristi?
Was it? Yeah, no, I think it was Martin. Yeah, why did I blank on Brundle? And they were talking about it. It's like, oh, so, but that's all right because he can come out and still get in a few laps.
Yes.
And then call it quits. And I was like, you can do that? Even though he'd be like 2 or 3 laps behind.
Yep, because
like,
they only had one practice session, and so they need as much information as possible. So even though he started, I think 2 or 3 laps down, he still came out. I don't think. Well, you can't go back in. You can't just give up for no reason. Whether or not they could argue, oh, it was the water leak didn't get any better, or kind of pantomime that was such a serious thing. I don't know, but they sent him out late. It's also mirrors what happened in the race where Lewis started in the pit lane and just caught up with everybody. But we'll get to that later. Yeah, so...
Yeah, it was the first time I'd seen that, so I was just super surprised by it.
Yeah.
And Tay, or Ev, but Tay mostly, I guess, with the Ocon, we had Ocon, Sainz, Behrman, Hadjar, the rest of the scorers after Leclerc. Now, Leclerc's no surprise being up there, but how do we account for such, on average, low-scoring drivers being up so high, especially above the likes of your... Hamiltons and and Russells and dare I say Alonso and Stroll.
Ooh, dare you?
I don't want to it feels like I'm taking the credit away from them just doing a really good job, but I generally feel like it's because the ones that we expect to be up there just were shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about shit on the day.
Was that a qualifying the thing as well? Because Russell had
quali was awful. Yeah.
What happened? Did something happen that caused Russell and Hamilton to be so low, or they were just not having a good day?
This is a bad day.
Okay.
Yeah,
because this is traditionally pretty good for Russell.
Hamilton had a new rear suspension set up, and he just was not in a good shape with it.
Yeah, I don't know
for whatever reason.
If it was the qualifying, which I don't remember which qualifying it was, but he locked up the rear tires, which is really hard to do because the brake balance is like, I don't know, 80-20 to the front.
Yeah.
And he said on the radio, he spun out at the bus
on his fast lap.
And it was like, and it was like, I've never done that before. I think that speaks more to like the Ferrari than it does Lewis's capabilities, obviously.
That was for the sprint quali,
right?
Because in the for quali, he started from the pits because I think they gave him a new
power unit.
They changed something.
Yeah, he qualified like 16th or
he qualified low. Shit.
And they were like, "Well, we have nothing to lose." So, and he needed to do those changes, which
we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll
get there. Okay. So,
and as for George, I have no idea why he did as bad as he did. I didn't think there was anything on the track at the time
because he did a lot better in the next quali. So I was just wondering if something had happened. Anyway, essentially, a non-event unless you're a rookie or a low-tier driver.
Yeah.
It was a pretty boring watch, I thought. Right, well, we move on to the Sunday race day. We'll start with the top two. Oscar Piastri coming in with his 6th win of the season, which was awesome. Lando coming in, not well behind Oscar, but he was never really challenging for him. Oscar had a brilliant start. Now this race started in the rain. I thought it was a bit overkill. So we had about first of all, they had a delayed start because of the rain. And then we had 4 or 5 laps under the safety car. When I started watching, I'm so glad I watched the replay that I could fast through all the nonsense of waiting to start again. And even Brundle and Crofty was saying they probably could have come out like 20 minutes earlier and it would have been just fine. But that's, whatever. We got a race, so that's the main thing. We had 4 laps under the safety car into a rolling start. And because of the shape of the track, you've got the bus stop chicane right before the home stretch. It's pretty hard to get away, so Piastri was always going to be pretty close, nipping at Lando's heels. And I saw after the race, Ant was saying that it was a particularly clever move by Piastri because he kind of forced Norris's hand to take the corner in a way that he probably shouldn't have, which meant he had a lot of oversteer, which meant that Piastri had much more straight line to begin with out of the corner, which gave him a significant advantage going up Eau Rouge, and he took him over really early at the top of the hill. And then from then, it was basically his race. There wasn't much
He was
Lando
out on his own.
Yeah. He got ahead very quickly. And when it came to pitting, they obviously gave Piastri the first stop, and they were a bit too close to double stop. But then they gave Lando the choice of mediums or hards, and he went with the hard, which in turn gave him a lot more extra pace in the later stages of the race. But a few costly errors, and he couldn't really ever get close to Piastri again, which he was heard saying, Oscar was just the better driver on the day, which I think we can all agree was.
What was crazy was that they were working out, I think it was just over 10 laps left in the race, and he was just over, what was he? Just over 6 seconds behind.
Yeah, 6 seconds.
6 and a bit seconds behind. But he was pulling Oscar in at like 600ths of a second each lap. So he was gaining, and it was like, there's going to come right down to the tier. But then you see at one moment, something happened, which wasn't broadcast, and the time dropped back down again.
I was thinking about a few races ago, I forget where it was, and Lando won, and he raced really well. And it was the sort of race where everyone was like, oh, okay, he's laid to bed those like demons where he's
he's going to make a mistake.
He makes like a really small mistake. He overdrives.
And everyone was pointing the finger at me going, can you say it now that he's good?
Yeah. And I remember because like this kind of stuff doesn't go away overnight, but I think he must have just kept improving and then had a big win somewhere. And I don't know why I can't remember it, but to see it today and to see every time he got within like a few seconds that he'd lock up at a corner, or he'd oversteer a little bit, or he'd like lose momentum, and he'd just be like, focus. What are you doing? You have like you had the tires. Yeah,
it's all there for you.
It's really kind of disappointing.
It's like Nico talked about it. He's over driving. It's like he's trying to drive faster. So rather than just be patient and let the car pull him in closer over lap after lap, he gets a bit of a whiff. And
goes hunting for those truffles.
I want to go for it. Oh, I can put a bit more on it, and he doesn't kind of trust the system, and it causes him to make silly errors.
He must be so bad at foreplay.
And then someone like Nico understands being chased by a driver like Lewis.
Yeah.
Or Lewis understands like being chased by a driver like Max. They make you make the mistake. They drive perfectly, and you feel the pressure because there's nothing you can do. They're just getting in closer and closer, so you overdrive.
That's what happens to me every time. I'm too focused on who's behind me, and I was like, fuck, I missed the corner.
Well, to be fair, Lando didn't really blame the car or anything. In fact, he kind of just blamed his bad driving. It wasn't. I know there have been weeks I'd be like, oh, who else are you going to blame, Lando?
Yeah.
It wasn't anything really obvious where you could go, well, you should have done better. It was just an unfortunate drive. He made a few mistakes, nothing major, but enough to affect him catching. And I just find like it's moments like these that surely make him feel like now we're getting towards the downhill of the season. That Drivers' Championship will slowly be slipping away because I think it's these kind of races where he needs to kind of
capitalize.
You got to get these ones right because these are the ones that will make the difference because maybe the next race you'll have a puncture. Maybe the next race Piastri will just be like on fire and you have no chance of catching. So many different things can happen. But yeah, Piastri now has the most wins by an Aussie in one season, so that's pretty fucking awesome for him.
He's crushing it. To be honest, it was really enjoyable watching him this weekend. Yeah, and like I know, like we play the whole bias thing or whatever, but generally, I do feel like he's like I've got such high hopes for him to come away with the Drivers' Championship this year. And beforehand, it's like, oh, wouldn't it be great or whatever? But I am starting to really believe that he could really come away with this, and that will be fucking awesome.
Yeah. And
I cannot wait the emotion for it.
Man, who knows? Maybe he'll just explode with emotion at the end of the year. I don't know. Yeah. I was just going to say, I also noticed that Lando's mum's becoming more of a celebrity every week.
I saw that, yeah.
Speaking of mums, nice segue. Also, Piastri's mum was hanging out with Yuki, and so all of the speculation's all on that now.
Oh, God.
She went and visited him at Red Bull. It's like, why the fuck did you do that?
Well, McLaren have now made it 3 consecutive 1-2 finishes, boosting their lead in the constructors' standings to 516 points, which puts them comfortably ahead of Ferrari and Mercedes. And let's not forget Red Bull, because Max is always up there, yet their constructors it's not even in the conversation. Lewis,
get your act together, Laurent Meckies.
Now we got Lewis here. I just want to mention Charles was our third man on the podium. Seems that their upgrades definitely made a difference, even though Lewis struggled a little bit initially. Once he got that power unit, he was back in. Charles, though, solid race, nothing really to write home about. He was challenged a bit by Max, but I felt like he always had it. He was never going to give up that
he didn't
place.
seem that worried by Max at all. Like, Max didn't really feel that competitive, considering after seeing him in the sprint to then seeing him here. Yeah, and I guess we'll touch on this because both Lewis and Max said some stuff about the whole rain stuff after the fact.
Let's talk about Max now, because there wasn't much to say for Charles, and Max is next.
Yeah. So basically, as I said, like they had him on the same setup as Silverstone, and obviously they didn't do him any justice at Silverstone. And so I think they were a little bit more conservative with their setup for Spa, knowing that there could be potential rain. But one of the things that came out after the race was how long the delay was, and how it's like, at the end of the day, like we used to go out where we couldn't see shit. And now it's coming to a point where it's like there's no racing until it's dry almost.
Yeah,
right.
I found that really odd.
And considering also like Silverstone was wet, so is it a case where if the race hasn't started and it's pissing down with the rain, then they won't start it? Whereas in comparison, Silverstone, it started pissing down before the race started, during the race. So they don't red flag it, or they don't, they're a little less cautious about it, and they just let it carry on.
Is it to do with the racetrack itself? Spa's just a slightly more dangerous track, and they've had a few deaths. It's not great publicity for them. Speaking of, actually, who was it that passed away a few years ago? Gasly's mate.
I saw his mum.
Yes. Okay. Why? okay, I don't know. Like, I get
Hubert? Something Hubert.
Yeah. His mum was
Antonio,
there, right?
Antonio Hubert or something.
They show his mum, and I'm like, did they invite her to this track and go, hey, we'd love to have you here and commemorate your son? Because if my kid died at that racetrack, the last place I want to be is going back to the racetrack and talking and being reminded about where my son died. Like, I don't know. I'm not a parent.
I think it's all contextual, right? So she was there as a guest to Gasly's mum, right?
Yeah.
And they obviously grew up together and they're friends. So surely the parents and the mums have been friends, and they probably were like, it's more of a memorial for him now.
Yeah, but that would be hard.
Of course it would be hard. It will never not be hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I just find it fascinating. Obviously, you're going to go to that one as a memorial kind of thing. It's like, man,
yeah, why,
that would be like
why
the
is
one
his
race
mum
I
at
don't
Singapore?
Yeah, exactly. Why would she be at any other race?
I know. Anyway, well, do we think? I mean, let's speculate for a minute. Do you think that race would have gone any different for Max if Christian had been there? Like, do you think Christian would have made some super amazing decision that would have improved?
Christian was
his
there at
chances?
Silverstone. That didn't do anything. Yeah, that didn't do anything.
Okay, all right. Well,
let's
George
also
Russell,
acknowledge the fact. Wait. Also acknowledge that this is the first race in 20 years that Christian wasn't there.
Yeah, so 100% not on the podium without Christian Horner. That's the stat so far. See how many races we can get.
What a stat.
Settling in fifth, we had George Russell. He was about 5 seconds clear of Albon's Williams for what we would call a very disappointing weekend for Mercedes, especially considering they absolutely dominated at Spa last year, with Antonelli way down the pack in 16th, and I think he got 17th in the sprint. George had a bad sprint as well. So a pretty forgettable weekend for him. I mean, have they had many upgrade packages for Mercedes this year? Is there something that's overdue and we're just waiting for them?
No,
or they're just bad setup?
Their eggs are in. Yeah, their eggs are in next year's
26.
Okay, all right. So they're looking forward to next year. Well, I thought
so there's going to be a boring second half for them, isn't it?
Great. Yeah. And there's no chance of them just saying that and then suddenly next week in Hungary they come out and absolutely dominate?
No, I doubt it. Although they're always really strong at Hungary.
Yeah, no, they are too. That's true.
What was really sad actually was seeing Kimi. He was visibly upset after.
I heard about this.
The
I
race
didn't see
quali.
it.
Yeah, he was super upset and like, I don't know. I can't verbatim remember, but people were quoting Toto as being quite cold, and like had basically said something across the radio or something in regards to his quali. Oh my god, lack of performance. And yeah, he was just super upset. But essentially, what I had heard that Lewis said some really lovely words and like encouraging stuff.
They were talking to each other a couple of
helped
times.
him through. Yeah. So
such babies.
Hopefully he bounces back. But it's crazy though. Like, we were talking him up so much earlier in the season, and then just watching him.
I've been very reserved
lose
with him.
that performance.
Yeah, he's only 17
I've been very reserved
Yeah.
with him, especially after all the chat as if he was just going to take that seat over George Russell if Max was to suddenly go there. And
Yeah.
I got a bit annoyed. I was like, what has this kid done to really prove anything? He's actually had a lot of bad weeks this year. I don't know why we always forget, like, Imola was terrible for him, you know. He's had he's had a couple of good ones, but geez, like it hasn't been a great year for him. Yeah.
No.
I tell you who did have a good weekend was Alex Albon. So Sainz had the good sprint, but Albon had the great race. Came in at 6th, even keeping Hamilton at bay. And that's Hamilton coming from the pit lane, and he really
coming
moved
from
up quite quickly.
18th.
Yeah,
he crushed it.
I love
we
that so
we
much.
got to sit on him for a little bit.
Yeah,
because
well, we're
that
there.
was an
we're there now.
incredible performance.
What when he got to Albon? How many laps did he have left? A significant amount, or was it just like towards the end?
I think there was still over 10.
Yeah,
think it was
because
11-10.
Lewis had to do a lot of what they call lift and coast, which
Yeah.
is to take when you take your foot off the pedal and you just let the wings and the downforce do the initial braking for
braking.
you. It's just not a fast way of doing things, and it's kind
takes
of
your tires.
it's funny to me because if you ever try and do it in the game, it's so you go so slowly.
Yeah.
And yet in the race, in like real life, you never notice that someone's doing that. I mean, I guess they're only doing it as long as they're not under pressure from a car behind. But I think even from the beginning, Lewis was told to lift and coast, so he had one hand tied behind his back. But a lot of that. So what I don't know is whether or not this scything run he did through the pack, if it's down to purely having a new power unit, which does have a really big, generous boost, or if it's the rear suspension. I don't know if Taz got anything to say about that, but
I think his computer stopped, isn't it? Oh no.
I know. There we go. I know.
No. Yeah, I froze. No, he was one of the first cars to pit to go him off the inters. So he got on the slicks real early.
Yes.
And then he fucking flew.
Yeah.
He flew. It's the first time where I was thinking, it's like, Ferrari nailed it.
So I was going to say, we can chalk this up to a
once.
strategy advantage, not just pure driving. Okay, so the reason I wondered how soon he got to Albon, could we at least give Albon credit for holding off Lewis, or was it kind of he was there a bit late and he was never going to really overtake?
Yeah, I think he was there a bit late.
Yeah, okay. I think they were, to further add to Ev, they were literally like, he had worked those tires to a point where had he kept on pushing, he might not have stayed. You know, he might have lost more.
Yeah,
so,
so he kind of did all that work.
Yeah.
And it just he was settled with 7th. That's a good result.
Yeah.
But isn't it crazy though? Like, for whatever reason, and someone brought this up when I was chatting to them at work, was that it doesn't matter where he starts. He's always just in those positions. He always ends up finishing, on average, obviously not every race, but on average, it seems like he's always between 5th and 8th.
Nice.
He's always somewhere in there. But it
that
was
going to be my next mention.
It's
like, as good as this drive was, he's never shining for Ferrari, is he? Like, it's 7th, it's 6th. We're yet to see a couple of podiums from him, and when he does that, I'll start.
He did win a sprint. Everyone seems to forget that he did win a sprint.
No, I remember that.
I remember it. That was in China, wasn't it? And then he had came last in the race. Well, he did come last, but
no, he didn't.
I tell you, who did have an exceptional performance. I don't usually praise him. Liam Lawson.
Do his name. His name.
I'm Liam Lawson. He arguably had a pretty perfect weekend, as good as he could have in a racing bull. He came in 8th, and Hadjar even started off really strong ahead of him.
I don't even understand.
Lawson was given the preferential treatment, which was odd when he was pitting because he was behind. So he came in early. I don't know, maybe if that was just they had different calls or that was the team's decision. But he did manage his tyres really well throughout the race and kept well ahead of Bortoletto. It probably would have been double points for Red Bulls had it not been for the car troubles of Hadjar. So he came out of the pits and then just suddenly started really dropping off really quickly.
I don't even know what happened because obviously he ended up coming last. So,
I read about it. They never really said what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if
and they didn't televise much of it.
No.
Yeah. No.
Well, I'd say that the Racing Bulls are quickly becoming the primary Red Bull team for this year.
Do you think that they're still going to call him up for Red Bull next year?
I don't know who I'd pick. That's just I mean, maybe you go for an outside hire. I don't know. Because clearly anyone driving for Red Bulls isn't driving Red Bull well. So I don't know. For Racing Bulls, sorry. But yeah, so that was kind of like... It was interesting because Tsunoda wasn't bad in the sprint. I mean, I say wasn't bad. He was for a Red Bull. like 11th and 13th is a pretty poor weekend for a Red Bull, considering Max was 4th. But this just seems to be what it is over there, right? Like it just seems to be second car's always well below. But anyway, good drive for Bortoletto in 9th, and we had Gasly shining, recovering from that poor sprint, coming in at 10th. Hulkenberg, some extra mentions in the bottom 10. Behrman coming in 11th, so pretty strong. Not hugely strong weekend for Haas, but better for a mid-pack. Hulkenberg recovered a little bit. Did he? Yeah, well, good on Behrman. Well, probably because he didn't have to fight. He probably had a bit of space between him and Hulkenberg, so he could change his tyres. Sonoda 13th. Lance Stroll out-driving his partner twice this weekend. At 14, Stroll Patrol just doing the bare minimum, but staying ahead of his teammate. And then Esteban 15th. Kimi at poor 16th. Alonso 17th. That was really disappointing for him. Not a great weekend, but I think the most disappointing...
I had him up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did. I think the most disappointing, though, especially after a good sprint race, was Carlos Sainz for Williams coming in at 18th. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be so bad, except that Albon was 6th, and Sainz was 6th, I think, for the sprint. So do we know what on earth was going on with Carlos Sainz with Williams? Was this driver error or just poor setup?
I think this is another thing where it's like, and we're going to touch on it with Colapinto, is like, I think because there were a few of those cars where they split the downforce setups.
Yeah.
And so one had a low one had a high one, and then they were just left. It's like, as you go.
And good luck to you.
Yeah, and go. so I think that's the biggest key, I think, with some of these surprises of who's further down the pack than they normally are. I think it just came down to the fact that it was raining and they just never recovered because they just didn't have the setup for it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, there was plenty of overtakes, there was plenty of entertainment in this race. I was, after our discussion last week, looking very carefully at the grandstands about where I would want to sit. There's actually a really, like, for a VIP spot, I think it would be at the bottom of Eau Rouge, just on the backside of the straight. I wonder if they can go both sides, like you can go onto the straight side and come back over for Eau Rouge. That would be pretty amazing. But that corner where I said I wanted to sit actually looks like a pretty awesome spot to be. So I think for the cheap seats, that would still be a pretty good position, just because it's so fast. It's just so fast. Anyway, that wraps us up for Spa. Yeah. That wraps us up for Spa.
Before we end, I have a question for Ev. Maybe Ev can answer this. So when the race ended, right, you sort of expect them all to do like their final sort of warm down lap.
Yes.
I saw the cameras.
Yes.
And all of a sudden I see fucking Oscar and Lando going down the wrong way of the pit lane.
Correct.
I'm like, how the fuck did they get in there?
Yes. Because it's such a long track, it is the only one that where you kind of, and where the pit lane is, you go down that back straight, the start finish line, you come to the hairpin, and then they just open a gate, and you kind of just do a 360 and go back in, and you're driving in the opposite direction. Down.
I did not.
Yeah, so George Russell was disqualified after winning. Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, last year, 24. That's why Lewis won it.
Because he was underweight. And what the general consensus was that after every race, you go around and you pick up all the rubber. And that's like, if that's a couple of kilos, then that's more than enough to make sure that you're overweight for the scales. But because they don't do that at Spa, because it's so long, he just pulled in, and so he has no extra couple of kilos on his tires, and you're just kind of fucked. And I think that they just didn't realize then. So yes, it is funny, and it is a real shame because it's such a nice track to see them do like a ceremonial cool down.
Yeah, their winner's lap.
Yeah, that'd be great there. Like if all places, it'd be great here. So yeah, between this and Silverstone's a really long track too.
It just caught me by surprise.
Yeah, it's funny.
I think we've spoken about that before, but like in particular when it happened with, now that I recall, when it happened with George, because at the end of the day, it was only 1.5 kilos that he was under.
Yep.
But clearly,
How
just
devastating.
shows how much you pick up.
Yes.
Well,
But yeah.
on that note, it's good to see that you were paying attention, Tay, because now it's time for Haas. You've been paying attention. For those of you who are joining us for the first time this week, this is our weekly quiz where usually me, Ev, and Tay go head to head, and the best, most knowledgeable person answering the most eclectic questions of F1 goes ahead and reigns champion. I am the least knowledgeable but most opinionated, Ev the most technical, and Tay the all-rounder. The score currently, I think, is Digby and Tay on 7 and Ev on 6. Is that correct?
I think that might be it.
last
Last week
was what it was.
Both me and Ev
last
got a
week.
1 point. But
and you both were like, "Oh, well, we tied it, so we both get a point." So technically, it'd be 8-7-7. And I was like, I think that's bullshit.
okay,
So I
well, what
think
about 7.5?
last week's a write-off.
6.5. 7.5, 7, and 6.5. I'll be on 7.5. You can be on 7, and Ev's on 6.5. I'm out this week because I've had to do the questions, so I think that's fair that I get my half point. This will be the second. This will be the second round I miss out on a point.
Fucking half points.
So we've got 8 questions. Each question is worth a point, and the last 2 questions you will be deducted a point if you get it wrong. I'm only going to deduct 1 point this week.
Well, we'll see when
Yeah,
we get there.
yeah.
Well, I wasn't the one who started
You
the
tell me.
precedent of just making up the points to keep it exciting. And then, okay, so before we start the quiz every week, it's the best part of the show. We get each player to give us a buzzer. Now, do either of you have a buzzer ready, or am I just going to pick
I
one of
do.
you?
I do
All
have
right,
a buzzer.
Taylor is
It's
going to
so
give us his
shit.
buzzer. It always is.
I know. It's not always. I had some good ones.
That's the buzzer. I have some good ones.
I'm gonna, yeah, I know. Right? You know what? That is actually better than what I would have come up with.
What did you have? What did you have?
I had stupid fucking Scarlett Johansson correcting her supplier in Black Widow, and he was saying Budapest, and she's like, no, it's Budapest, and so that's what it was going to be.
Oh, I like that. Budapest. Now keep it as Budapest.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
Budapest for Tay.
Always a story.
Evan.
Ev, it's your turn, Ev.
Well, seeing as you're looking forward, I'll look back on Spa, and my buzzer will be Spa Day.
That should have been last week's.
Hello.
I love that. Spa Day. You and Oprah going for a massage and a foot rub. Okay, boys, let's play. So we've got Taylor with Budapest and Evan with Spa Day. Let's play, boys. Question the first. How many races in a row has Oscar scored points?
Budapest.
Taylor.
It is, I believe, he is on, I think it's 41.
Incorrect. Evan, would you like a crack at this, mate?
Do I lose a point if I get it wrong?
No.
Okay. 12.
No. The answer is 31.
It's
His 31 races in a row. He has scored
Are you
points.
sure?
Yes.
Only because I saw
You're not getting this off ChatGPT again, are you?
No, I'm not. This is off.
And because
Ollie?
Lewis is on 48, and Oscar needs to get 8 more to beat him.
No.
And
That's incorrect.
and Lewis is
I don't know what you're talking about.
the amount of consecutive points.
Anyway,
Lewis
that's
owns the
incorrect.
record,
It was
doesn't he?
31.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 2 people above him, which
You say
is
so.
Max
Yeah,
and
it's
Lewis.
Max and Lewis. Yep.
It was interesting because the way they worded it is that Oscar now has the most races in a row scoring points, following only Max and Lewis. So it's like, yes, okay, so he doesn't have the most then. He's fucking third. I fucking hate how people write this shit. All right.
First runner-up.
0 all. Question 2. How many times has McLaren claimed victory at Spa?
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck.
Spa Day.
Evan.
12. I'm going to go 12 again. Lucky 12.
Incorrect. Taylor.
Fuck, I don't think it's as high as that. Oh, no, I'm thinking about
McLaren have been going for a
how
long
often
time.
they've... Yeah. Maybe it is higher. Okay, Budapest. I'm going to say 34.
The answer is 13.
Oh, no.
So I'm very, very close. Now,
You fucking
Closest to
asshole,
the
man.
pin. Closest to the
So-
pin without going over.
there will be closest to the pin. Tay, so I just Googled, I re-Googled for you the Oscar thing. This is why the AI sucks. So the AI overview at the top of
okay,
Google,
here we go.
I didn't use this. It says
Tell
Oscar
that to the
Piastri
150 employees at Atlassian.
currently has a point scoring streak of 34 consecutive races in Formula One. Then the first result is the Formula1.com website. Piastri clocks up most wins by an Australian in a season. Piastri's 31 race scoring streak is the longest by any driver in F1, except Lewis and Max.
Oh.
So
Oh, okay.
How do you
I
have
don't
such a
know.
definitive
sorry,
start to
hold
a
on.
sentence?
And then the next result is Sky Sports Oscar Piastri on a run of 33 consecutive point scoring. So, oh no, that was 2 months. Then that was 2 months ago. So I don't know if people have been getting it incorrect and Formula One is right or whatever. But either way,
Well, what's Max on and Lewis on?
I don't know. But either way, 41 was incorrect, and that's what's important. It's still 0-0. Question 3: how many 1-2 finishes did Alan Prost and Ayrton Senna have for McLaren back in 1988?
Why would this be
Budapest.
something we need to be paying attention to?
Because Oscar and Lando are currently on
have
6.
just equaled
And
it.
the
Oh,
rec-
okay.
No,
Oh,
they
all
haven't.
right
They're
then.
currently
Oh.
on 6. So McLaren, Alan, and Ayrton had more than 6. I'll give you that as a clue. How many 1-2 finishes did they have in 1988?
Yeah, take
And
it.
Tay
8.
said Budapest.
8. He says 8.
8.
Incorrect. Evan.
Oh, motherfucker.
6? Sorry, 7? 7.
Incorrect. The
You
answer
fuck. You're such a fuck.
You're
is
such
10.
a dick.
Fuck you. Is the answer fuck
Well,
you?
maybe I will have to start going closest to the pin. I purposely kept this so F1 focused. No food questions, no geography questions.
Oh, we're so good at we're
so
collectively
fucking
so
stupid.
good at the food question.
Okay.
It's so stupid.
Well,
we
let's-
only
let's-
know what we
We
know.
know the food question.
All right. Question 4. Let's still waiting on our first point.
Fuck.
How many consecutive seasons has Charles Leclerc finished 3rd at Spa?
Fuck me, dude.
Spa Day.
Evan.
You see?
Yep.
Go on.
None. I think it's a trick
He just
question.
came 3rd. He just
Yeah,
came 3rd.
but that doesn't mean he
That
did it
would be
consecutively.
No, but that would be 1. You've won 1, right? So you can't do none.
No, what? It's a consecutive.
There's a
You'd have to have
technicality
2
there.
there.
No, but if he did a second one, then he'd have 2. So you have to start somewhere. I'll give you another chance because that's a stupid answer.
I'm gonna say 3.
Yes! We have a point.
That's
Evan
bullshit.
Locke.
You fucking gave it to him.
I'm not letting him answer with a 0. That doesn't even work.
Yeah, you could have because he's an idiot.
Well, we need a point.
I knew
somewhere.
there'd be a
Right.
trick question in there somewhere.
That was not a
Quest-
trick question.
No, it wasn't. It was a trick answer. Question 5. How many? This is a real
Oh yeah,
pay
please.
attention question.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we
How
go.
many podiums has Max Verstappen had in the last 6 Grand Prix?
test.
Yes.
He's not had any in the last 3 because he equaled that of 2019. So it really only counts the 3 before that. And we're not counting sprints, obviously, right?
I don't think so. No, I don't know.
Great.
Just
Well,
I
they
love
don't
it when the
count
referee
Lewis's
doesn't know the
sprint.
rules.
Yeah,
well,
they don't-
this was just a question I found, and this was the answer. I can't imagine that counts as a Grand Prix. Sprint isn't the same. as Grand Prix.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 2.
Incorrect. Evan.
3.
Fuck.
Incorrect. It's 1.
You
He's had 1. He's had 1.
I should have
fucking
gone on the
podium
lower end.
in the last
I
6
should have
races. This is
fucking gone on the lower
outrageous.
end.
He is not going well. At all.
Hulkenberg has had more points than Lewis in the last 6 races.
Brilliant. That's one of the
It's
greatest
31
things
to
I've ever heard.
29 or something like that.
The hero of Ferrari can't even outdo Hulkenberg. Right. Still 1-0 to Ev. Question
The hero
6.
of Ferrari. I said Max, not Lewis.
No, you said Lewis.
No, I said Max. I said he. And we were still talking about Max, weren't we?
I don't know. Well, I'll find out tomorrow. All right. This is the last question where you can take a free
Thank
guess.
God.
Question 6. The Hungary GP was the first race ever to be held behind the Iron Curtain. What year did it first begin?
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Yes, Evan.
No, he didn't do it.
No, that was my impersonation of JFK on The Simpsons, and then Grandpa. They're on the same boat.
I'm gonna
Think
say
stop paying
Budapest.
Wait, what, did Ev give an answer? Oh,
No, that was
buzzer.
no. I was just being silly.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 79.
79.
Incorrect.
That's gonna be my buzzer next week. Incorrect.
Gorbachev. When did the Iron Curtain come down? So that was Bush. When was the Bush administration?
Oh, here, look at you, Zach Galifianakis, with all your fucking formulas floating in the ether.
Yeah. When was Bush? I thought Bush was president in like 92. I'm gonna say 88.
Ooh, close. 86.
No!
Now I must say again, there's
Closest
conjecture
to the
here
pin.
because it also says there was a first race in 1936.
Yeah, but there was no
But-
Iron Curtain in the conventional
No, there
sense.
wasn't. But again, the Formula One website is the one that said it was first in 1986. So I'm going with the Formula One website, not Wikipedia.
So we're like
Someone
we're
threw
like
that
2
in.
generations late.
Yeah,
No, you know what it
1986.
is? Someone hit 3 instead of an 8 on the Wikipedia.
Well, no, there is a photo. There is a photo from the 30s. So maybe they don't officially count it or something. I'm not sure. Okay, so
Probably
we've got
some
2
rules.
questions
Yeah.
left. You will lose
Fucking
points.
hell.
So you don't get
Here we
you
go.
don't
Here we
lose
go.
points for this one.
Here
if
comes
you're incorrect.
here comes the
But
bullshit.
You will lose a point if you don't get the point. So what I mean is the person who's closest to the pin gets a point, and the person who's furthest from the pin loses a point. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Ev,
So
does that make
what
sense
happens if
to
I
you?
don't answer?
Then you don't have to. So Tay
You
gets a
should
free
still
point.
loses
Yeah.
a point.
No.
You won't lose a
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
but that gives Tay a free point.
Oh,
So that's fine.
That's a
It's
good.
all, it's all
that's
part.
it, yeah.
So okay, so how far in the Hungary GP is the first corner in meters? In meters. How far is the first corner from the starting line?
See, I'm thinking about
Sorry. The pole run to turn 1 breaking point.
What?
Hang on, breaking point and the actual corner itself is two different
breaking
things.
point. Breaking point.
So
I got it wrong.
how far is the breaking point to the corner?
In,
or how
in
far-
meters. No. How far from pole run to turn 1 breaking point?
Oh, pole run.
So yeah, from P1 to the breaking point.
Yeah.
In meters, how far?
You can go first, Ev. Fuck you.
I was just, I was smiling because Ollie always says, "How do you remember like a track?"
Yeah.
I think he'd remember Hungary.
If you don't guess here, Tay will just get a free point and it will be 1-1. But if you guess,
I'm just padding for time, buddy. I'm gonna say, all right. What's my buzz again? Spa day.
The hands.
I'm gonna say it is 120 meters to the breaking point.
Taylor, do you want to guess?
I'm gonna say 119.
You see, this is why I didn't want to go first.
Hold on.
This is why I didn't want to go first.
Evan got the point because it's 476 meters.
What?
So he was closer. It was, fuck, that's long.
Yeah, how
that's
far
longer,
back
way
is
longer
the
than I
start
thought.
line from the...
So just say, just remember
I
on
thought that'd
TV,
be the whole straight.
Yeah.
Let me
I thought
talk.
the whole straight was only like 600.
Anyway, these cars are very big. That straight is very long. That is a long
Yeah, I
fucking
know,
straight.
but I thought I wouldn't think it was
telling
a K long.
Yeah.
You telling me it takes less than 10 seconds to do that straight?
No, but the straight starts at the last corner, which is way
I'm just
further.
saying, it's fucking long. And it takes you anyway, it doesn't matter. Ev got
right.
the point. Tay loses a point. So Ev is on 2. Ev is
Can't
on
lose
2.
on 0.
And Taylor is on -1. So the last question.
Listen, Ed
Hold
didn't
on,
get any
just
fucking
stop.
negatives
Just
last
stop.
week.
Just stop. So the last question: if Taylor gets this within 0.05, I will
here
give
we go.
him
Oh,
2 points.
3 points.
magically.
No,
Wow.
well,
Give
no,
me 3.
If Ev doesn't answer, I'll give you 3. But if Ev answers, I'll give you 2.
Well, that doesn't mean shit. I'm still losing
It does.
3-2.
No.
If
Because
he
Ev
gets
will
it
lose.
wrong.
Ev will lose
yeah.
a point,
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
get a
Yeah.
playoff. All right. So.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
A playoff.
So I need 4 numbers here, as in to the down to the 100th of a second. So, for instance, it needs to be like 64.51 seconds or something. Okay.
Gotcha.
Can you tell me what the pit stop time loss is on this circuit?
Spa or Hungary?
Hungary.
It's Hungary, I'm guessing.
I just wanted to sound like I knew what I was talking about. Okay,
Well, it didn't work.
I will say that it is 24.35 seconds.
24.35. Okay, Taylor.
We should have written it on our hand and then showed it.
Yeah.
We both showed it at the same
because-
time.
Don't. Well, look. Let me put it this way. Don't let Ev's answer guide you too much. Just go with what you think it is, because.
Sorry, I couldn't understand while you were burping through your fucking talk.
Could you give me an answer, please?
Jesus.
Hurry up.
Yeah. I'm gonna say then. Which way do I want to go? I'm gonna say 26.75.
Nah.
you
Sorry,
went-
mate.
It's
You're well
less
off.
than that.
It's 20.56 seconds.
Okay, so I want to talk about this.
I win! I think that's a good question. Now, we haven't had that one before.
That's a tough question. That's what's closest to the pin.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
always around
because you
20-ish
think-
seconds.
You think it's such a exactly. But when you preference it with this idea that the fucking straight is massive, and then you have the same fucking pit time.
They're
loss
going
as
80
any
kilometers
other-
an hour, and it takes them 20 seconds to get through that pit.
I know. I
That's
understand
a long
that.
straight.
I know,
It's a
but
really
then
long straight.
So is fucking Silverstone.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
is fucking
So
there's
it's
half
everywhere
a
has a
dozen
long,
other-
back
Yeah,
straight.
but getting into Silverstone takes a little longer, I think, and getting out. Hungary's got quite a quick entry point.
Yeah, well,
There you
fuck
go.
you and your questions.
Anyway, F gets the win. Bow, bow, bow.
Those half points don't mean shit. So Ev and Digby, they're equal.
Ev and Digby are at the top at
We're all
7.5.
together.
We're all good. It's all good now. It's all good.
We're all equal.
Righto. But I'm not equal because I've done one less than you, Tay, and 2 less than Ev. So really, Ev's losing. I get a buy round point or something.
I'm losing because I'm the only one who has to put up with this shit every week.
Anyway, that was as you've been paying attention, everyone. We're all tied.
Awful.
It's all tied up there.
Awful.
And hopefully Ollie will be back next week to sort out this nonsense. Right, with that, we move on to the preview of the Hungary GP for this section of grid walk and trash talk, talking about the preparation of each team, what we expect from the track, the history and the past wins and losses, etc.
I literally gave you an intro. I gave you an intro.
I can't believe you didn't read it, Digby. Jeez.
I'm explaining. I'm explaining what the fuck this section is.
Does it?
All right. So everyone, I'm now going to read word for word Taylor's intro. Welcome to Budapest's twisty, toasty pressure cooker.
Ooh.
The Hungary.
Is that because goulash is made in a pressure cooker?
Where F1 drivers feel like rotisserie chicken.
What?
By lap 10, and overtaking is about as rare as a soft tyre lasting more than 5 laps. I've got to say, I disagree with a lot of this so far. It's Monaco without the bling.
Also, it gets hard. If I can start, it'll get harder.
Sweat and a sprinkle of chaos. The track is a stingy little snake, narrow, relentless, and utterly forgiving. This is literally the track that Daniel Ricciardo did like a record amount of overtakes like 5 years ago.
On that one
6 years
corner.
ago.
On the first corner.
Once you're stuck behind someone, good luck. You're married now. Also, untrue.
You're married now?
It wasn't Danny Ricciardo. It was...
no, it was Ricciardo.
It was
Ricciardo
Ricciardo.
set some record.
It's where strategy wizards thrive, rookies melt, and everyone ends up one radio message away from a meltdown. Max, remember the surprise podiums, wild weather swings, and that time Ocon won because literally everyone else imploded. And let's not forget the race where Lewis started on his own. Classic Hungary. It's hot, it's hostile, and it's hungry for drama. So fire up your engines and your group chats. The Hungarian GP is about to serve another spicy slice of summer madness. Let's get steamy. Jesus,
this is such bad copy. He's walked.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I'm so glad you made a point of making me read that.
So Digby, Digby and I are both musicians, and it fascinates me whenever, or like if there's a movie where there's an actor who's really like the character is bad at acting. And so, or like if a musician...
like the artist?
Yeah, like if you like pretend like you're... And it's really impressive how there's a difference between being good at something, someone who's good at what they do, and then pretending they're bad at it, and they're really good at pretending to be bad. It's really hard to do.
It's actually what I love about Shutter Island. Everyone is very good at being a bad actor. So they look like they're bad actors, and you suddenly realize at the end of the movie, I'm like, oh right,
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
So that was just terrible writing.
Nice.
That was like as if Taylor was trying to like be bad.
It's like
I couldn't be that bad. I'm not good enough to be that bad at something.
You'd picked an angle which I just kind of disagreed with, especially because we just spoke about how Mercedes is traditionally quite good on this track, and their car really struggles in the heat. So I don't know, maybe I missed something there, but I would have argued this has plenty of overtakes, some of the more exciting overtakes.
On the first corner?
No,
maybe quality over
not just
quantity.
the first one. There's always a lot going on after the first corner. It goes downhill.
Yeah.
And that's where the DRS is as well. So there's a bit of dogfighting. And then you've got these two, like, almost parabolic corners. And we've seen like
That
was
uphill
it-
corner's a fuck too.
Yeah. That 90-degree left uphill. That's epic. I think was it Max or Lewis who went outside of the other one. This was a few years ago in Hungary where was
It's
it
my
either
favourite race in Hungary.
Max or Lewis had damage. Max had damage and he couldn't go any
was that
faster.
when-
I think, and Lewis was
was
like
that
what
when-
happened
18th,
was what
and he had to like.
what happened. I was sorry. I thought you were talking about the one where Lewis slowly managed to take Max in the last 10
remember.
laps. Just he was complaining about the
Oh,
tire
yeah.
strategy to Mercedes.
And it's like,
Why am I on this tire?
it's
Why
hammer
am I on this
time.
tire?
Yeah.
And over 15
time.
laps.
Why would you put me on
Lewis-
this time?
Lewis got him with like 4 laps left. It was the most amazing chase, and it was such an amazing race.
It was a good
Yeah.
chase.
And he absolutely smoked Max in the overtake too, and it was that year where it's like once you got your overtake, you're just off, and you couldn't keep
Yeah.
up. But that's the thing that's great about Hungary. Anything can happen. It's a really exciting
It's a
track.
good race.
We know it's going to be good, and everyone's got a different memory.
In the words
and
of
a different
Taylor,
perspective of
buckle up,
it. Let's get sweaty or steamy or whatever it was. Anyway,
fire up that
So-
group chat.
last year's results.
It's so
We had
bad.
Oscar Piastri on his maiden win, Lando Norris at number 2, and Lewis Hamilton in a surprising 3rd place, considering how much Mercedes struggle in this noted heat at Hungary. To
Hey,
note from that
it was
race,
a cool day.
to note from that race, Oscar Piastri claimed his main F1 victory, which I just said, overtaking Norris at the start and managing the race brilliantly to cross the line first, just like he did at Spa last week. Lewis Hamilton secured his 200th career podium, finishing 3rd despite a late collision with Max Verstappen at Turn 1. Verstappen dropped to P5 after the incident. No post-race penalties were issued. Max Verstappen struggled with brake balance issues, collided with Hamilton, and finished 5th. It's kind of like saying the same thing I just said in the last sentence in a different
go.
way.
There you go.
Well,
the
it's for
third-
Max now.
For
It's
the
from his
3rd
perspective.
consecutive race to take, he finished failing for the 3rd consecutive race to take a victory amid mounting frustration with team strategy. Again, sounding a little like what's happening this year. So, what can we expect this year? So, it's a narrow, technical 4.381 kilometre circuit with 14 medium to slow corners, known for minimal overtaking. Qualifying is often the key to success. Now, while I do note that overtaking is maybe not as plentiful as other tracks, I would not compare it to Monaco, a track which is renowned for 0 overtaking. Hungary genuinely has, maybe it's just got that one overtaking spot, but often you'll see in the last few years there is a lot of place changes.
Bit more
and I think we're
opportunity,
going to see that.
yeah.
And I think what's exciting is that the corners where you can't necessarily overtake, you can race very close to one another. And what happens out of that initial, it's not quite a hairpin, but it's a very tight right-hander. It then goes straight into a left. And then into another right. So you can gain a bit of an advantage depending on which side of the track you're on.
I just remember it was that same race where Lewis started on his own. Everyone else pitted and he was out on his own or whatever. When he ended up coming in and then everyone overtook him and then he was in the back, he got stuck behind Alonso for ages. And that's when like this whole thing about Alonso being like one of the only ones that could actually block Lewis.
Yeah,
in the
well,
sense
that's
of
the thing.
defending the overtaking.
Alonso's a phenomenal defender and hates Lewis
Yeah.
Hamilton. So that was, that happened. And
So that was different.
It was a few years ago at Spa, actually, where Alonso was like, this guy can't drive when there's competitors around him. That's his words, not mine. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're expecting summer heat and dry conditions, which will test the tires and aerodynamics, brakes, and hydration levels for both the drivers and the teams. Track upgrades: the paddock, pit lane, pit building, and main grandstand have all undergone major redevelopment. Parts already in use with full completion expected by 2026.
Yeah, so they've got the big stadium that's along the start finish. That's all just been done. Looks pretty nice.
Cool.
They actually posted a photo of that today. Looks really good.
Oh, did they? Cool.
Yeah. The spectator experience has been upgraded. More covered seating for those incredibly hot conditions in that Fucking bitey, son. Revamped facilities and better views across the Valley Like track. I mean,
Meanwhile, for
I'll be honest, I
Digby,
reckon...
for the resident redhead, anything above like 11 is blisteringly hot.
Mate, it's not the heat that'll get you, it's the UV. Thank you.
So
anything
there
above
Wow.
a 3 UV rating.
yeah.
was there talk about this track being discontinued? I remember. I thought there was a after 26 or something.
Yeah, well,
I think they contracted to 26.
Spa is now from next year
On the chopping block?
It's rotating.
Ah.
So like every year they'll have one, and then so that's how they're going to fit in because they want like another Middle East, they want Africa, they want another US,
they want Thailand.
Yeah, that's how you can fit them in. You just have to start rotating.
So you rotate them every. Okay, so my question being that it seems interesting that they're building all this new facilities and infrastructure. If all of a sudden their contract doesn't get renewed, but if they're doing exactly what you say, where they're rotating the tracks, then they might be part of that rotation.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well,
thanks.
Given the difficulty in passing here, a good qualifying position is crucial. Now, I'd argue that this is one where... Now, which side of the track, Ev, is pole? Is it on... are you on the
What
left
track
or the right?
is the qualifying position not crucial?
Yeah, well, as
Spa,
of late.
apparently. So my question to you is, which side? Are you on the left here for pole?
No,
Or
I
the
think
right?
you're on the right, which is the wrong side, which is the dirty side.
To the dirty side.
Yeah, okay. But what you do have on the right is you have the eventual inside. So what I'm saying is there's 3 successive corners which are very tight. So if you can stay with your opposition, the whole 3 corners, you'll come out on top because you've got the advantage on that final corner.
Yes.
Which makes for very exciting driving, despite how hard it is to get around.
What you also have is apparently like 45 kilometers worth of a back straight. So you'll make it up anyway. You'll make it up.
I believe it
26
was
seconds. 26
There
seconds.
you go. There you go. We're not happy about this. We're like 2 of us aren't happy about this.
So, all right, Ev, as the resident technician, expecting 2 choices with the tyre strategies, 1 stop versus 2 stop.
Yeah.
Which are you choosing?
I think the drivers prefer, like, everybody prefers more pit stops. I want more maximum number of pit stops. I want everybody on I want everyone to be on the soft tire all the time. And this, like, every 5 laps have to come in for another set of tires.
Yeah, okay.
Well, just build more playgrounds with the used up rubber. That's what Pirelli do.
Toxic.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever gets the win, I suppose. Nobody complains when they win. When Lewis wins, even though, what's this strategy you put me on?
It's the strategy that will get you to win, Lewis. Oh, okay, yeah, great. Sounds good.
I want to thank everybody in the factory, but not in the garage.
No one in the garage ever gets thanked by Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I love this race, and like we said before, it's always something crazy, unexpected. What I really love about it is something that we again spoke with Lewis versus Max. You can really chase someone down, and the design of the track gives you that opportunity for that overtake at that end of the straight. Spas, I think, a bit harder because that you've got to be so consistent for a longer portion of time. Here, as long as you're close at that last corner, you
can
almost
have
guaranteed that
mistakes.
I don't know if it was Behrman or Ocon. It was someone unexpected, and they would pull out like a purple lap in the first sector, which sounds really impressive because it normally is. And you think, well, the first sector has got Eau Rouge and Radion, so wow, they must have really, and then like it comes. You don't realize the middle sector at Spa is like longer than a normal racetrack. And so they just die in the middle sector. Whereas, correct me if I'm wrong, I really think it's only here in Austria where it really feels like just a big go-kart track. Every corner is twisty.
Yeah.
And that's why it seems... much more exciting when someone goes hunting down. I mean, as we can imagine, let's say McLaren are 1-2 again. Whoever's in front with the
Oscar.
with the priority choice is like, well, I'll just stay out and I'll just do a one stop. Whoever's second is going to be like, well, no, I'll come in and get soft tires and just like hunt
And
him,
just did that. Yeah.
go hunting down. So that's cool.
It's exactly
You
what
can't-
Lewis did to Max. Max did the 2-stop and Lewis
Correct.
did the 3-stop. And what was great is that he comes in and you think there's no possible way you can get this back over 15 to 20 laps, but they do. And they fucking, like, it makes a big
That would
difference. And I
be-
think that's going to make it really exciting.
That will be the hope for this weekend, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Just
so-
to have someone that brazen.
Pirelli
to be
have-
like, fuck it, we're going all out.
Pirelli have started this season with, so usually they would bring the, what do they call, like the C1, C2, C3, whatever, like soft, medium, hard. And they usually, before this year, they would only ever be like next to one another on the scale. And so as to be predictable for the strategists. And so this year they've started doing things like have the soft, whatever the soft is, but then go like 3 steps to the medium and then like 1 step to the hard. Or like they're making it asymmetrical so that it's a much bigger gamble. And it's making it at least a little bit more interesting this year.
Yeah,
They introduced a much softer compound this season as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, they're always improving their soft compound,
Yeah.
because that's all anybody wants is the soft compound to last longer. You want it to last as long as
For
possible.
44 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
70
Yeah.
laps.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why it is
Alright,
they
well,
have full wets and they can't use full wets, I don't know. But
No, they never use full
Well,
wets.
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
They never let them
Never
out
go
on the
full
track.
wet.
The point
Never
for
go
that.
full wet.
I
Never
know,
go
I
full
know,
wet.
it's ridiculous. All right, well, with that, what are we predicting on the podium? I'm gonna just assume Oscar, Lando, and maybe Russell, if they can
Ooh.
improve. If like Mercedes always do well here, so I think it's worth just throwing
Always.
the bone. Yep. Tay.
Yeah, I'm putting Oscar up there again. Lando's in there. I don't think second. I think I'm going to put him third.
Ooh.
And I think
Interesting.
Max might come in second.
Okay.
I'm going to
Yeah,
repeat.
I think Max.
I'm going to repeat this last week, and I think that Charles is going to get up there. I think that the longer that it goes on with, as any office you've ever been in, once you lose maybe Christian wasn't beloved, but once you lose some
He
sort
was
of
respected.
well, I don't know if he was respected. If you ever lose someone that's quite significant in your workplace, it always you might carry on for a little while, but eventually there is going to be a big dip, and I would think I'm going to put my bets on that happening. I think that they're going to go backwards fairly quickly.
Okay. Interesting.
So I think Charles is going up there 'cause I have faith in this rear suspension thing they had. They're trying to fix their ride
yeah.
height.
Okay. So not Lewis this week, just Charles.
So
Yeah.
just Charles, no one else.
Yeah.
No one else.
No.
It's
Lewis,
the McLarens,
Lewis
I assume.
is hitting into everybody else. He's doing a sunny haze, wiping out everybody.
Sunning Hayes, throw
It's
the
like,
gravel on
I've
the
got
track.
this- I've got this for you, Charles. I got it for you, Charlie.
Oh, mate. Okay, well, with that, we will move forward on to our weekly segment, What's Verstappening, where we talk about all the off-track shenanigans and give a very quick, our quick perspective, I guess, on each. And I will limit this as we are running out of time.
So on Sunday, on race day, Christian Horner,
Oh.
Christian Horner posted a photo to his Twitter of him riding a horse. And because Christian Horner's like filthy rich, he rides
He
a
is.
horse the way that like aristocracy, like, so he had like really tight pants.
Royalty.
And he had like the thigh-high boot, the riding boots,
Yeah,
and
the
little quint riding helmet.
He's a proper British rider.
Yeah. And he
Fox hunting.
tweeted out something that was like, "Oh, it's a different type of horsepower today," and I was like, "It's like when someone pathetically tries to undercut their
Still
ex
be relevant.
girlfriend or something."
Yeah.
And what a coincidence! Posted. There's a race today. I didn't know.
Anyway, this is not what's for Verstappen.
Yeah,
let's
I thought it was really funny.
focus, people. All right, so let's start with Nico Rosberg ruffling feathers. This weekend saw our mate Nico Rosberg back in the commentary team. In fact, it sounded like it was his first time working directly with both Martin Brundle and Crofty, which he was very excited about.
It was.
And I thought it was really cool.
I think they normally
he actually joined Brundle for the grid walk. And during said grid walk, they approached none other than Jos Verstappen. And obviously the subject of Christian Horner came up, and Nico Rosberg said the things that we love about Nico and said, you had a lot to say about Christian last year. How does it feel now that he's gone? And Jos didn't, I've got nothing to say about that. And Nico replies, oh, now you're silent. In saying that, my question to pose for you guys, do we want more people interviewing like Nico Rosberg, or do we want less people like Nico Rosberg? And in your answer, please describe why you are for or against it, starting with Ev.
Oh, not me. I can't stand
Okay,
Nico.
starting with Tay.
Tay.
With Tay then.
I'm hot and cold with Nico at times. Sometimes I cannot stand the prick.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm like, fuck, I love this guy. I think it's all in moderation. I think it also depends on who they're interviewing, whether I love them or don't love them, to be completely honest. Like, I think it was brilliant that he just called him out on his shit.
Yeah.
And he's there, Jos is just there going, what? I'm always silent, blah, 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 blah. It's like, the fuck you are. But then you also get moments when we've talked about in the sense of like, yes, but all that sort of stuff when it comes to a good commentator.
Yeah, right.
And he's not good at that. Yeah. But when he was up there with Martin and Crofty, he worked really well because he was more anecdotal. Is that the word?
Anecdotal.
Where he would talk about things about anecdotal. That's it.
Anecdotal,
where he would talk
amazing.
About the things about...
Next week's buzzer, locked in.
I'm fucking Ollie today. I'm Ollie today.
Yeah.
But he would bring up stuff about him and Lewis being mates.
Yeah.
And then just seeing that hard reality of like, we're good, we don't need to keep talking about it type thing. And it's just like, oh, you were good, but now you're not, and it's awkward as fuck. But I think all within moderation, I think there's some great
There's a
pros
time
to
for
it, but also I think he can be a bit, exactly.
I know that he rubs people the wrong way, but I think it's important to put these people in those positions because Jos did have a lot to say, and I want him to put his money where his fucking mouth is. It's very easy to talk about people behind
100%.
their back. It's very hard to stand firm. It just shows me he doesn't really know what he wants, or he's been told to keep his fucking mouth shut, which is also
wants
very
to be
likely.
team principal.
Yeah, and I thought Nico did it in a way that was kind of tongue-in-cheek. He wasn't too ruthless, but it was great. I loved it.
It was a bit weird that it was like, because Nico's, what nationality is Nico? He's
Finnish? No.
Yes.
Norwegian?
Swedish, isn't he?
He's not
Swedish.
Swedish.
Finnish. I thought it was Finnish.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, anyway.
Is
so
he the same
what are you
as
saying?
Bottas?
what I'm saying is that English might not be Nico's first language, even though he's fluent, obviously. Then you've got Jos, who English isn't his first language. And then you've got all the volume of the cars and the pit lane. And so, like, Jos just looks so uncomfortable. As if, like...
He was uncomfortable because he knew
pretending
what was
like you
coming.
can't hear him. But
imagine being Jos Verstappen and seeing Nico Rosberg and the Sky Sports team walking towards you, and you're just going... Oh,
Like,
fuck. I'm
What was
going
that?
to have to
You know
say
that
it.
meme
I'm gonna
of
have
the kid? The kid, and he's like...
Yeah, just the eye, like except that that's everyone else in the paddock watching them walk towards you. Everyone's like,
But it was Nico who said to Danica. Danica was like, "Oh, that's such a hard place to overtake." And then Nico's like, "What are you talking about? That's like the easiest place.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of what you're talking about."
Our best video on TikTok.
Like he has no chills.
Our best video on TikTok was Naomi defending Lewis and Nico going, no, you can't. No, there is you can't. There is no doubt. She's like, if you gave Lewis the benefit of the doubt, like, there is no doubt. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Like, and he's got this perplexed look while she's saying it. He's like, oh my god, I loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the next one. Lewis has been questioned and come out and explained why he has not had a girlfriend for some time.
Spa day.
10 years. Was Nicole his last girlfriend? Either way. And
that's what he says.
Given the answer. What was his answer, Tay? I didn't actually read it.
Basically, he just wanted to fully focus on F1 and his career. That's first and foremost for him.
I can only imagine that
he can't.
That would mean to me that during his girlfriend's time, he found it quite frustrating and distracting. I can tell you, as someone who travels, and Ollie would be able to attest for this too. Someone who travels a lot for work, as much as your partner loves that you do that for a job, they cannot help but get so frustrating, and it puts a lot of pressure on getting home or your mind. If there's something going wrong at home, it's like your mind is always going to be somewhere else. And a lot of people in the arts,
spending your money that you won't.
Bill Burr did this as a comedian. He was traveling around. He purposely just didn't have a girlfriend until he was comfortable. I'm comfortable now. Now I have time to give you time. Or if you're having kids, now I have time to give my kids time. You can't do that. Some people can. Like, there's just some people just find it too hard. And I think that's great that Lewis
he
said
did.
that.
Yeah.
Not that he needs to explain himself, but I think it's great that he did.
What was interesting is that I don't think I've seen anything where he's been that open about his personal life, in particular this type of subject. At least for me, I haven't seen it.
Well, I read it this past week, and it was Toto Wolff. So this must have been, well, it could have been recently, but it was Toto saying something about how, Lewis keeps asking me like on the flight home, and he's like, check out this chick. She's flirting with me. What should I? Should I flirt? Should I flirt back? Like what? And like he'd show Toto like the photo or the flirting text or what have you. And Toto goes, "Yes, of course you should go after her so that you can." No, but Toto's reasoning, because Toto's like stand-up family man and has been like Toto looks like he was born an adult, like, and Toto was like, Toto was like, "Yes, you should go after her, but not for like yourself, so that you can tell me, and so I can live like vicariously through you."
That can't be what he said.
No, that's what he said. I don't know how recent it was.
Amazing.
He's like, yes, of course you should go after these girls. Anyway.
All right, let's move on. We've got to wrap up, guys. All right, last one. The FIA is working on Formula One rule tweaks for 2026 aimed at segregating A/B teams more in a bid to prevent squads benefiting by working together. So, Tay, can you give us an example of how they're going to do this and give us your opinion on it?
Well, it all stems from your mate, Zach Brown, where he flagged...
Oh, yeah.
Where's my fucking article? Yeah.
Red Bull and Racing Bulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the whole idea where you could just quite easily swap, like, for instance, bringing on racing Visa Cash App, Red Bulls, Racing Bulls team principal, and then they were able to just slot a team principal straight in, like took him and put him into Red Bull. But then it was also in regards to like different things like IT stuff.
The question was, how are they actually fixing the problem?
See, that's the thing. This is all just talk right now. Yeah.
So they haven't really explained it. They're just going to fix it.
They're looking at ways of how they would do it and trying to
basically
so
let me change the
have
question.
it as 10 independent teams.
Let me change the question. Let me change the question. How would you... do you think it needs to be fixed? And B, how would you fix it? Ev, you start.
Yeah, so in Zach Brown's defense, it does.
And you have to keep this brief. This is we're almost at 2 hours. I want
this
20 seconds.
Is a much more NASCAR, IndyCar type thing where teams would do this because it's much closer. It doesn't happen in Formula One in the way that you're kind of thinking about. What there shouldn't be is 2 drivers. There should only be 1 driver per team. So there should be a yellow Ferrari and a red Ferrari, and they do not communicate. They already don't. Neither sides communicate with one another. So you might as well just have 2 separate whole individual teams than having 2 drivers in one team.
So constructors and driver would become the same championship.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, Tay.
Yeah.
Do you think it needs to be fixed, and how would you fix it?
I mean, really, the only clear example of this is with Red Bull and VCarb, and they've really been the only ones who have taken opportunity of this, benefited from it. So, there's moments when I think Danny was racing for VCarb, and there was talk about him potentially adding a toe or doing this or whatever for
does it need to be fixed, and how would you fix it? You're taking too long. You've got 20 seconds.
Answer
the question.
All right, calm down.
We always do this. I get to the end and we just talk in fucking circles. This is an edit. I have to
completely keep them as... Well, if you keep fucking talking over me, I can't finish, can I?
Sorry, there's just big delay. So I'm talking, and then you stop, and then I talk again. Go again.
Gotcha. Yes, it needs to be fixed. Just keep it completely separate entities. Have 0 teams related to either one of us, either each other, regarding Red Bull and Visa Cash App, because they're really the only ones who are benefiting from any of this sort of shared technology or whatever. So just keep it completely separate. They don't have to have any affiliation with each other. Have someone come in, buy VCarb, so then Red Bull has no association with them.
Okay. I would argue that there's not really enough of a benefit for anyone to really get upset about it. I feel like it happened at Monaco, kind of, but I mean, ultimately, it's not really making a huge difference. What I think it does is that when someone like the Racing Bulls have a good weekend, if they kept outperforming Red Bull, then it's in Red Bull's best interest to move their drivers around, which is just annoying. It's just like, just let Racing Bulls be the good team. So that to me is, they seem like a pointless team because they could never win the Constructors' Championship.
Yes.
So what's the point?
They're the fluffer.
So, exactly. Yeah. So, well, we'll leave it at that.
The farm
Thanks,
team.
guys, for a wonderful episode. I can't wait for the race this weekend. I probably will have to watch the replay again.
Buddy.
Yeah. And hopefully we didn't forget that there was a sprint this week. And get surprised on Friday.
There isn't. I made sure this time.
Okay.
I made sure this time.
All right.
Next
well,
one's not to Austin.
I don't have any special quote or question to leave us with, like Ollie would usually do. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
Bow, 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 bow.